All right, so next up, let's get to it. He is a German Comorian rapper, songwriter, and producer. A young and upcoming European artist, experimenting with elements of hip hop, R&B, and various European and African influences. All right, so he's gonna be giving a talk about being an independent urban artist based in Europe. And he wants to give his point of view of being an artist based in a European country facing multiple problems within the music industry. So once again, this is the inaugural Music Token Forum, and I want y'all to give a big round of applause. Oh yeah. To Leroy Menace, y'all. Ow! What's up, Leroy?
What's up? Thank you for your kind introduction.
Oh, no doubt, brother. No doubt, brother.
Yeah.
Floor is yours, brother.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me. I was enjoying all the talks. I took a lot of notes, and actually like right now, like a lot of things are just running through my head. I think I have to have like a lot of knowledge to process. So thanks for everyone for sharing your wisdom and views on things. I learned a lot today. Yeah, basically about me. 27 years old. I was born and raised in Hamburg, Germany, and I still live in Germany, which is obviously a non-English speaking country, but I write my lyrics in English. Um, so like for me, being based in a non-English speaking country, there have always been like barriers to enter like an international market. Of course, when I started making music, I started making music like seriously when I was like 17 years old. I remember I had to make like a choice. Because I was writing German lyrics and my English is not my first language. So I basically was like, okay, I don't really see myself staying in Germany because all of my idols were international figures, mostly like American rappers or producers. So I actually learned how to express myself in English. And when I started like knocking on doors looking for support, because like when I was young, my view on the music industry or the whole game was like I was new to this. I didn't have anybody in my family or near surroundings that was like already like successful to like put me on or anything. So I had this view of okay, I have to get like a deal or I have to be signed in order to make it and this and that. And I within the first couple months or years, I realized that everywhere I would like try um to get a foot in, people would always tell me, yeah, but like a German, like coming out of Germany, trying to make it in the world is like kind of like impossible. And to me, this just didn't make any sense because like when I started making music and I put my first songs out like on MySpace, like for me, it was never about like starting a music career was not like trying to raise money to make CDs or I didn't need that. I was brought up in the digital world already, so I didn't really see those barriers, but everybody around me was like talking about it. So throughout the years, um, I was like, I really tried to like understand why or what the actual barriers are for me in order to have like an international music career. And when I started talking to like my non-music friends or people that were not making music, they were like, yeah, of course, like you don't somebody once said you don't even need to be physically present, to be like in America to be covered in like American media, so whatever. So I asked myself again, what is the problem? Why does everyone tell me it's impossible for a German dude to make it? And I've not seen anybody that really made it yet, like on a global scale. Of course, I'm probably missing out on some people, but like now, there's several artists from Germany that are making waves. And so I had to come up with a solution because I was like, okay, I will not get a record deal. So I asked myself, do I actually need a record deal? So I've like, and now I've never signed like any record deal with anybody. I always only did like distribution deals. I started learning about how to use, maybe, I don't know, record jet or whatever, and kind of quickly realized that being a small artist, like when you start, you might have to like rethink your whole views on what you want to be or who you want to be. Of course, all of my idols were like big artists, had like record deals, but most of these artists nowadays complain about their first deals. And and I'm not saying like, okay, major labels are the devil or whatever. I mean, there's clearly like maybe a point in your career where you should consider getting like help or more wind, so you actually get an even broader audience. But when you when you think about it, like when I talk to other friends that make music, when they start, the first thing I tell them is like, okay, do you actually know where you want to be in a couple of years? Are you actually trying, like, do you actually know what it means if you sign like a record deal or whatever? Like, or is it just because everyone is asking you when you start making music, everyone's asking, are you signed? And then it's like, what does being signed actually mean? And yeah, sometimes I just lose what I was talking about. It's like I'm kind of like, I know exactly what I want to talk about, but I'm like kind of like freestyling. So when when I ask myself, okay, what does it mean? Like, where do I want to be? Do I want to be the next Chris Brown? Would I actually want to like change with this person and live that life or whatever? Or what is it? What is it about these artists that I'm adoring? And it was not really the money, because I didn't know how much they actually make of music or whatever. It was the fame that I always wanted, you know? So that's where somebody could like just, get me with like, okay, we're gonna make you famous. And that would be exactly what I want. So I would just say yes. And I come from not having like a lot of money. Like I wasn't brought up. Um, I don't know. Like my family doesn't own companies or whatever. Like the regular guy, not too poor, not too rich, but I still wanted like the fame and everything, and this was so exciting, and I wanted everybody to know me, and that's why I probably chose English, because I thought, okay, I could reach more people potentially. So that's exactly what I wanted. And when I figured out that there's like a lot of artists that are famous but are like in debt, I couldn't believe it. Like, how are you in debt? Like, you got millions of followers, you sell out arenas, you do this, you do that, and then I don't know, I see somewhere in the media, okay, yeah, this guy's broke. And I was like, why? Didn't I just like hear he got like a 2 million advance? I was like, yeah, he got 2 million for like he signed a record deal, got 2 million. And I didn't know like what an advance actually is. And once I realized, okay, it's a loan, I was like, okay, if someone would offer me, I don't know, like 100,000 for a record deal, which happened over the years a couple of times, like I had to like figure out what it actually meant. And when I talked about my friends about the record deals or whatever, and they put up like this 100K, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it. Somebody just offered me 100,000, which was like crazy money for me back then. I was like, okay, but like and somebody said, yo, if you take this 100,000 advance, you know that it's like somebody giving you a loan and you have to pay it back. And that's like when you make numbers and streaming, and then somebody told me like, yo, you have to make at least, I don't know what it was, maybe like 200 million streams, and then you're like equal. I don't know if the numbers is right, but it was like a huge number of streams. And he asked me like, do you think you're gonna do it with like the 10 songs that are in the contract? Because you're recouping over, I don't know, 21% or what it was back then. And then like he broke it down actually, like, okay, once you paid them back the 100K, they made like even more. And you sign away your master rights and this and that. And if if then there's an option or whatever in the contract. So do you actually think you're going to make 200 million streams within that time? And I was like, how am I going to make 200 million streams? I have like 1,000 followers right now. I think like people are telling me my music is good. Everybody likes me. Kind of, I never heard like your music is trash or whatever. So, but it was still not really realistic to me. So, um, I tried to like figure out, okay, how like do I actually need these 100,000, or what do they mean? If I think about 100,000 euros, I think in euros because I'm based in Europe. So, um, like how much is left after taxes, and the production is going to cost money, and 100,000 euros is not even that much money at the end of the day. If you have paid everything, like you have to pay for your production and this and that, and at the end of the day you're not left with much, and this is not really money for you to like live off. And what I thought back in the days is like, okay, if you get an advance, it's just my money. So I was like, okay, I will not be able to pay that loan back. And from what I heard is like that there are like a lot of artists that are in debt because they take advances. And so I didn't take the deal, and I started like rethinking everything, and trying to figure out what I actually want for my career, where I want to be. And like the last couple of years, I was when some of my friends was telling me, okay, I want to sign a record deal with this and this label. I was like, okay, are you giving away your master rights just because I think it's better for you if you keep them for yourself? Like I own all of my masters, and when I don't know, like I own all of my back catalog, and if at some point, like I'm doing everything I can so it will work out in the future. If I don't know, 1 year or 2 years from now, um I don't know, my career took off or whatever, I could still like have all of like have I have my back catalog, and like I don't know, can sell licenses to distributors, and so I can always um go kind of from deal to deal and own my work, and I can decide whatever I do with it because I didn't sign it away for, I don't know, 10 years or whatever. So there's like there was this moment where I think it was, I don't know who it was, but it was some artist. I watched an interview. He said, "Why do you actually like have to be famous, or I don't know, have to have millions of followings, if you can just focus on your own community and try to monetize on that on a lower scale, or maybe make the same amount of money the artists you see as big are making." Like for example, if you have 1,000 fans that um spend $100 or euros on you for a year, um, that would be 100K in your pocket, like through a direct way or a more indirect way, or a way you're in charge of. Maybe, I don't know, $100 is maybe a hoodie, like from your merch, and 2 concerts a year. That's like, and if you have 1,000 people that pay $100 a year, you have 100K, and you got money to work from that, and you can grow your audience from that. You might not start with 1,000 people, but maybe with 10 people and 100, and you have like a lot of channels you can bond with your people with. And of course, there's this big machinery um, and a big record company can definitely put you on. And everything costs money. If you want your face to be on a billboard like Adele everywhere in the world, that's a lot of money that's being spent. But you're not gonna get there if you're like a small artist and look for someone to, I don't know, just pick you up and put your face on all of the billboards. You have to like put your work in yourself. And yeah, I just saw like Tino put a question. Um, okay, I'm gonna just answer the question. How do you see Music Token as a chance for independent artists in the near future, or even for you personally? Okay, that's actually where I wanted. That's actually where I wanted to go. Like that. We as small independent artists have several ways to monetize or generate income streams and make a living of it. But maybe we have to like throw away our way of thinking in the beginning when we don't know what is actually going on. And I might not know what's going on like like in the whole music industry, but I think that looking for fame only will not lead to having you like long lasting career, like because I don't know what I want to do in I don't know 30 years or 25 years, where I might not be able to be on stage and do all these things, but I know like that I want the work that I put in now and the next couple years to pay me in 20 years, 30 years or whatever. So if I keep track of my masters and my like income streams or whatever and whatnot, um there's like I can set the stones now for my like the foundation now from um so I can get paid in 20 years from the music, because there's like still there's people that are making money off records from 30 years ago, and my music might not just blow up and generate or be like smash hits or whatever that would pay me forever, but I could do it on a small scale. So how do I see Music Token as a chance for independent artists in the near future? Is basically that I think as a small artist, you have to like build a community around you that supports you. If you don't want or are not able to get like loans from record companies, or you don't have a possibility to bring up the money, because production costs money. I don't know if you want to do merch, you have to like there's platforms where you can have people have to pre-order and then it gets into production, but you always have to like everything costs money. For myself, I'm a producer, so I don't have to put up the money for production, but for mixing or anything. But the regular songwriter or recording artist needs a producer that needs to be paid. Then he needs some, or she needs someone that pays for an artwork or whatever. And if you have like supporters that are actually willing to do more than just watch your music video or stream your music, and most of these people, they don't know how to support you. And if you give them an opportunity to actually invest in you, and have something for themselves with it, I think like something like Music Token is actually something I was looking for as an artist. Like I will definitely use it. And I remember like a couple months ago, like when this whole NFT thing like blew up, so I could see it. You probably knew about it before, but like I saw like this big hype. And then I don't know if you know him, but Tory Lanez is a Canadian rapper. He did like an NFT album, and he sold 1 million copies, and I think it was sold out within a couple of hours. And he sold like one for $1. And he went on YouTube, like put up a video and was like talking to his community. And he has this like hustler mentality. He used to sell CDs in Toronto and this and that. Like everybody in the city knew him as the guy who would just come up to you and rap and sing. It was like, yo, buy my CD. He was like, okay, guys, we got a revolutionary thing going on. Like, I got this NFT. It's dropping tomorrow or in a week, and yo, let's get this bread together. He was like encouraging his existing fan base to buy in so they can make money off it too. He sold it as something like, if you invest in this, you can make money too, and it's only $1. Come on, if you want to buy 10 and flip them and make some more money about it, like the way he communicated with his audience or his community, like really touched me. I was like, okay, crazy. He has this image. I might not have the following. I cannot like I would not be able to sell 1 million copies like instantly. But I think I thought I could do it on a low scale. I can encourage my people that are actually supporting me now to, like, if I be transparent and be like, okay, if you buy in, I can, I don't know, I want to do a VR music video or whatever. So everyone that's in a VR in my community, just let me know. And I have this new way of trying to like fund this whole project. And this like I would try to explain how the mechanism works, even if I cannot, or just send them whatever they need to understand. And raise money for production or whatever, or even more, have the community take part of what you're earning. And I think that would encourage them even more, because if I would hold some token of, I don't know, some artist that I like and I know, okay, I invest in that, I would even do more for him to like, or her to like blow up. I would post every day because I know like there's something coming in my pocket too, so we can all like eat of this plate together. And yeah, that's basically the question. So like I'm just like excited. I'm really excited about this whole project. That's why I'm maybe like losing myself and while I'm talking. And since nobody's talking back, I'm not used to like speak and everybody listening. But
All good. All good, man.
basically when Tino introduced me to the music token, and like he told me about it, and at first I didn't know what exactly it was. He was like, yeah, it's a dope community and you should definitely like be involved in all of this, because I just started to be invested in crypto in like January this year. I mean, like, to me it was like the regular guy on the street that heard about it, knew some people that made money off crypto and this and that, but I didn't understand the mechanisms. And until today, I'm not really into like deep into the technology and everything. But I think I see possibilities for like community tokens like that. So, and I think that would be something that I could work with for my community and I would actually use, you know. And time will tell how fast it will get adapted. But like earlier today, I think it was what was his name? I think Paul.
Yeah,
When he
Paul.
was talking about the MySpace thing and that everybody need, like, then the people that had a website, they were like on top, and now nobody needs a website. But like things like these um really like made like did something to me. But because I really think this whole crypto thing will be adapted by the broad mass, and I don't think it's gonna take 20 years. But I'm not an expert. But I that's just my gut
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
Anthony asked
You
what.
have a question? I'll read it out loud. So, what advice would you give to an emerging artist that has an offer to make it, although at the expense of not being able to create the style they'd like to?
Yeah, I could answer the question for myself. Um, because if I'm someone that is not really willing to make sacrifices on the creative part, but that's just me being an artist looking for something like where the most important thing is expressing myself, my views and what I have to tell to the world, or what part of myself I want to share. So for me, that would not really, like, um there's no way for me to like compromise. But my goal is not to like make it in a way of being famous. Like I'm totally fine with me generating enough money to live off it, and then to like over the years try to like build a foundation. And like I don't have to have millions in order to be happy. I'm just happy creating, but it depends on what you want from your career. If you want to, if you know, to the moon, man.
No.
If you want to be the next Chris Brown, and you just want to be like that figure, you want that image, you want you want the fame, you want people to love you, you want sold out shows, um, then I mean, you could, you know, you could just like do whatever takes you there, even if it means that you have to like compromise your art. But I think there's like a lot of artists um,
Yeah.
that are not willing to do it. But I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just always a question of what you want from life in general.
Yeah. To
And
each their own.
things might change for me. Maybe in a year
Yeah.
I'll say, yo, you were so stupid. Actually, you do want the fame and
Yeah.
like
So let me ask you this, because I know you kind of told your story, right?
yeah.
So when did that shift happen? Like, because you said before, I just wanted the fame. When did that shift kind of happen where it's like, all right, now I just want to, create my art, make a living? When, like, because I can relate to that story. So I
Yeah,
just want to see when that shift happened in you.
when I met, like, I'm not gonna drop names, when I met a couple of my idols,
Okay.
and like 2 or 3 times, like my whole view of them as a personality was like it just crushed. I was like, okay,
Ah.
that's not you. Okay, that's crazy because I thought you were that and that person, and you kind of influenced me in a certain type of way, and I that was my connection to you, and now I see you're not really that. So I didn't really want to be like them anymore. Like these things,
Yeah.
or just realizing that, um, like just realizing that a lot of people are in depth actually was
Yeah.
like,
Well, just
I don't want,
people, right? I
I
mean,
don't want
they
this.
put
I
their
mean,
pants on one leg at a time, just like all of
yeah,
us.
exactly. And then there's even like I'm not even saying I'm not trying to say that like record labels or record deals are bad, advances are bad or whatever, or there's this thing like a lot of young artists, if you hand them a piece of paper, they get scared. I mean, if you don't understand what's written in there, like you need a lawyer, you need someone to actually explain to you, and then you can, you have to gather all the knowledge you need in order to make a decision. And there's always two parts. I mean, if you sign a shitty record deal, you signed it, so
Yeah.
it's actually your fault. So we cannot like blame big labels for like exploiting artists only if the artists are like letting that happen, you know
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
always like two parts to the story.
Word, word. Knowledge is power, y'all. Hell yeah. So any final questions, or how do we find you? Where do we find your music?
Oh,
What's your IG socials, etc. Let's get that all
yeah.
out, you know.
I just dropped my IG in here. Um, I just give you the handle, and
Yeah, I'm gonna follow you too.
my artist name is like Leroy Menace. You can find that on Spotify and YouTube, whatever, and listen to
Okay.
my
That
music.
word. Following you, bro.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Mike earlier said, do you want to read out the question or should
Yeah, I
I?
can read it out.
Okay.
I'll read it out. Michael earlier said that major's always going to be the peak of power, but I think that when your token takes off in worth, you might be more powerful than the majors at some point. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
Like, I think I don't have the expertise or the insights to actually, you know,
Yeah.
confirm it or not, but it feels good.
Yeah.
you know,
Anything is possible, yo. Anything is possible. To the moon.
to the moon.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, any final thoughts to share?
For me,
Yeah, like let's say like, any advice, let's say to artists just starting out, what would you tell or if you could go back in time,
Yeah.
what would you tell your younger self?
I would tell myself, okay, understand where revenue is generated um, from your music or like whatever you're doing, and how you can keep track of it, and most important, like learn. If you don't understand mechanisms, but they're important for you to understand, like don't be lazy and try to like take 3 steps at a time, like try to figure out what it is and what it means, and try to always have a lookout for the long term, actually,
Right.
because you want
All
this
right.
to, like pay you for your whole life. You
Yeah.
might want to retire at I don't know 40 or 45 and not be on festivals with the young guys and jump around. I'm not sure.
I never know. Wise words from Leroy Menace, y'all. Thank you so much, bro.
Thanks for having me.